up guys, EJ here, back with another video, and today it's going to be my Blu-ray DVD update for February 20th, 2015. So I've got 10 new Blu-rays to show you, all from last year, 2014, and this is basically my birthday haul. 3 of these I got for on my birthday a couple weeks ago, and the rest of them I bought with gift cards that I got for my birthday as well. So yeah, I really didn't pay for any of these, which is pretty much a good thing. So yeah, 10 new Blu-rays, sort of action sci-fi update from last year. So let's get started. So first we have a sequel. We have 300 Rise of an Empire. Not as good as the first 300. I love that movie by Zack Snyder. He didn't direct this film, but yeah, this is still pretty cool. Ava Green was a great addition. She was really the standout in this film. Some good action scenes, and Ava Green sexy as hell. But 300 Rise of an Empire, not as good as the original 300, which is an awesome flick. Still pretty cool though. I enjoyed it, and that's the first one. Okay, up next, another sequel which I hear a lot of people loved. I liked it. I didn't love it. And that is Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, of course, a sequel to the recent Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Andy Serkis, fantastic as Caesar in this one. Sort of the war against humanity by the apes has taken its toll, and they're sort of living out their lives in a colony outside San Francisco, and some humans stumble in upon them who are sort of trying to survive in the aftermath in San Francisco and the city, and sort of this whole sort of tug of war between the humans and the apes ensues. They're very distrustful of each other, especially the apes, and then Caesar has to deal with his infighting between his own kind as well, who are trying to take over and stuff. They don't feel he's a decent enough leader. Lots of people love this film. I thought it was just decent. There's some spectacular action in it and some really good effects. But yeah, it's a cool film, definitely. I like the Planet of the Apes franchise, at least the new reboot. I like the first one a lot. So yeah, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, very good sequel. Okay, up next, one of my favorite films of the year, one of my favorite sci-fi films, and that is Edge of Tomorrow, or Live, Die, Repeat, Edge of Tomorrow. Yeah, it sort of confuses the title when this Live, Die, Repeat is plastered all over it. Yeah, it's even like on the spine and stuff. But a really cool sci-fi action film. Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt, just awesome. Tom Cruise has started in really my 2 favorite sci-fi films of the past couple years. This, and I haven't seen Interstellar yet, but Oblivion from 2013 was one of my favorite sci-fi films of that year. So yeah, he's on the roll as far as I'm concerned with sci-fi action movies. Of course, Minority Report, great back in the day as well. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. Sort of a mix between Starship Troopers, Groundhog Day, and Saving Private Ryan. That's the perfect explanation for this film. Really fun, just awesome action scenes, and the whole concept, the premise of Tom Cruise plays this officer who doesn't want to fight on the front lines. He gets sent to the front lines in this war against some sort of alien force, and he ends up dying, and in the process of that he can travel back in time, and he does so on numerous occasions to very funny effect. Emily Blunt, sexy as hell. Really enjoyed this. Just a great sci-fi action movie with a really cool story and really cool scenes. Yeah, Edge of Tomorrow, really loved this film. Okay, up next, film I saw just a couple weeks ago. Denzel in fine form, and that is The Equalizer, directed by Antoine Fuqua. Yeah, Denzel plays a sort of Home Depot worker. I think it's Home Mart is the name of the place during the day, and by night he's a former sort of CIA assassin who helps out this Russian prostitute played by Chloe Grace Moretz and take down her her employers. Some really good action scenes. Denzel just being a badass. Yeah, cool film. I liked it a lot. Um, Stupid title though. Whenever I see this title, I think The Equalizer just sounds like a bad action movie from the '80s or something. But yeah, it was a cool movie, and Denzel was awesome in it. The Equalizer. Okay, up next, for some reason these are out of order. Can't have that. One of my favorite films of last year as well. I love war movies, and this was just a spectacular movie, and that is Fury. Just really, really violent, really gory. Doesn't hold any punches. Brad Pitt plays this leader of this tank crew towards the end of World War II as they push on into Germany in 1945. Fantastic cast. Shia LaBeouf, Michael Pena, John Bernthal, who was in the first couple seasons of The Walking Dead, of course. And the young guy, his name escapes me at the moment. He's like the young new recruit who joins this battle-tested tank crew. Some awesome scenes in this film. It doesn't hold any punches. There's a really interesting dinner scene between Brad Pitt and these two German women. That's really really interesting. When they go up against a tiger tank, that's an awesome scene. It's three of these American tanks against this tiger tank, and then the last 30 minutes are just awesome as this lonely tank defends this crossroads against countless Germans. Just an awesome movie. I loved it. Great violence, great action. Fury, definitely one of the best films of last year. Okay, up next we have a remake, which has been remade plenty of times, and that is Godzilla. I've never been a huge Godzilla fan. I know Sarah won't be disappointed to hear that if she's watching this. I like Godzilla movies, but I'm not like hardcore Godzilla like she is. I sort of enjoyed this. Was it better than the 1998 Godzilla? Yes. Is it better than the 1954 original? Probably not. But it had some interesting stuff in it. What's his name? Bryan Cranston plays a scientist. His wife dies in a nuclear accident in Japan, and of course he thinks the government is hiding something, and obviously they are, because it's Godzilla. And his son, played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, shows up, and who else is in this? Elizabeth Olsen, who I like a lot. Some cool scenes. The parachuting scene was really good. The ending, sort of typical Godzilla stuff, but yeah, it wasn't great. I was expecting a little bit more, but it wasn't terrible like the '98 Godzilla, which I kind of like as well. So, but don't tell anybody. Okay, up next, another film I just recently watched, last week in fact, and that is Lucy, directed by the great Luc Besson. Really cool premise. I like these type of movies. Scarlett Johansson becomes a drug mule for the Taiwanese mafia, if you can believe that, which I found completely ridiculous. But the beginning of this film is really cool, really sort of gory and kind of interesting. And then it sort of turns into this weird sci-fi action movie, if you like, as she ingests all these drugs that make her able to use 100% of her brain capacity. Meanwhile, you have Morgan Freeman, who's a scientist, who's giving this lecture about the ability of humans and so on to one day increase their brain capacity. And of course, they hook up, and but it's all about the really cool stuff she can do once her capacity starts going up and up and up. And I just wish it was longer. It's like an hour and 20 minutes. They could have done so much more with it. It feels too short. They don't really explore the stuff she can do as much as I would have liked. But it's a really cool film, some cool touches. Hold on a second. Just trying to and shut out a bit of the noise with the dog barking whenever somebody comes home. Plus I had the door open. So yeah, Lucy, directed by Luc Besson, starring ScarJo and Morgan Freeman. Really cool premise. I just wish it was longer and did a little bit more with the story. Okay, up next, another remake, which I expected to not really like when it first came out. But I kind of dug it, and that is RoboCop. Classic, of course, film from 1987. Paul Verhoeven, just an awesome movie. But yeah, this film was sort of faithful to the original. Good supporting cast. I thought the lead character was pretty decent. And then, of course, you got people like Samuel L. Jackson. Was Gary Oldman in this as well? It's been a while since I've seen it. Abby Cornish. Yeah, it wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible, which was kind of what I was thinking going into it. So that's RoboCop. Okay, up next, another sequel. Again, not as good as the original, and that is Sin City: A Dame to Kill For. But again, the standout of this film is the addition of Ava Green, who was awesome as sort of the femme fatale. You got the return of Marv, Mickey Rourke, awesome. Bruce Willis, Jessica Alba. And you've got new additions like Josh Brolin, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Rosario Dawson from the first film as well. Yeah, cool movie. Robert Rodriguez and Frank Miller. Not as good as the first one, but certainly better than the Spirit. Yeah, Sin City: A Dame to Kill For. Ava Green again, absolutely awesome. She's just a stunner and always good as a villain as well. Okay, last but not least, another film that's been raped from our childhood, and that is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from the team of Michael Bay and so on. I was expecting to not really love this, but this was sort of a nice surprise, I thought. The always not so great Megan Fox, but she's okay in this as a reporter who stumbles across the turtles. Thinks she has a huge story. Will Arnett is in it as well as her cameraman. Yeah, it was a cool movie. I like the action scenes. The turtles themselves aren't very memorable. Most of the actors who played them, except for Johnny Knoxville, who plays Leonardo, I think, weren't really that much of a standout, but the effects were cool, and Splinter was cool, and Shredder, and the general story, the whole story of Megan Fox's father and the experiments in the lab with the turtles and so on was kind of interesting. And yeah, it was just a lot of fun. I thought it was just a cool movie, and I could watch Megan Fox for an hour and a half, no problem. So that is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I will say that I liked it a lot more than TMNT. I was kind of disappointed with that movie, but not as good as the original 1990 classic. So there you have it. 10 Blu-rays, all from last year, sort of an action sci-fi bent. All movies I got for my birthday, more or less. Tell me what you think of these films if you've seen them. Most of you guys have. Probably. So thank you for watching as always, and until next time, I'll see you.
Bond. James Bond.